Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different, but I really have wanted to do this for a while. I'm going to be interviewing my biggest donator on Twitch, and he goes by the name of Italy Boy. If you watch my streams at all, you probably already know who he is, but he has made some insane donations. And just to be exact, he's gifted over 200 subs on my Twitch channel, and he's donated over $5,000. And he really is like one of the most genuine and humble people I have ever met, because I have talked to him before, and I really wanted to do an interview and have you guys meet him as well. I also just thought it would be really cool for you guys to hear his story and for you guys to learn why he donates so often to me. So without further ado, I hope you guys enjoyed the Italy Boy interview. Okay, I'm now here with Italy Boy. And first, just to be completely honest, man, I just want to say thank you so much for everything you've given to me. We've had some crazy reactions on stream. I think everyone who watches my stream already knows who you are. So seriously, thank you so much for everything that you've given to the stream already. It really just means the world to me. But go ahead and introduce yourself.
So I'm Italy Boy 927. I've donated, I think,
Over 5,000.
over $5,000 in a span of like 3 or 4 months. And that's also not counting gifted subs.
Right.
But no, yeah, it's just I'm one of those people that I like to give back to people who's made an impact to my life. So like just to get into sort of short story kind of thing, but Marcus has done videos all the way up to 2013, I think. That's when you started making videos, and I started falling in love with his videos, and he's helped me through middle school and high school of like kind of getting through the whole bullying phase and just getting me through life to go the music and stuff. And
Right, exactly.
And that's why I wanted to give back to somebody who has gotten me through those times.
Yeah. And that's awesome. That's a really good summary too, I think, of like your entire story, because I have heard your story before. So I guess getting more specific, like, because I know the answer to this already, but my audience doesn't. What was the very first video you found? And when you started watching my videos and I started doing Omegle and all that stuff, like what type of impact did YouTube videos have on you? Because I have favorite YouTubers as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was watching them when I was going through tough times in my life, and I owe them pretty much everything, you know, and I've showed up to their stream and, you know, donated. And honestly, like, you know, your type of support for my stream has like, it encourages me to like leave like maybe a little bit more of a tip at a restaurant or something, you know, because like tipping is like how my whole job and livelihood is created. So yeah, so how did you, what video did you find, and what kind of impact did those videos have for you?
So the first video I actually watched was, I think, your second video, and it's for her. That was the very first video I watched. But then the one video that made a big impact on me was your very first video was a melody in D major. The reason why I like that so much is because going like on the whole music side, I like how you just took one key signature and then you just kind of, I don't know if you improvised it or you just came up with it on the spot, but you kind of just went with it, and it's kind of like you had multiple songs in one.
Right. There's like three different, a melody in D major. I know you're talking, because there's like three different sections almost to it.
Yeah.
You know, there's like the opening theme, and then like the slower middle section, and then like the opening theme kind of comes back in a different way. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was back 2013.
Yep.
I was probably in middle school when I watched that, 7th or 8th grade, and like because during elementary and going on more now the personal side, but on because in elementary and middle school I was getting bullied for looking like a different nationality, talking differently, because I had a speech impediment. I still do. I haven't been diagnosed with ADHD, but it's like a given now that almost everybody knows that I have it, or I did have it. So I was like getting picked on that, and it was just everything was kind of going to piece, and it was kind of like then I started, and then when I started becoming a teenager, and this is when you have like at that time with teenager, when I was like 13, 14, 15 years old. You haven't done beatboxing yet. I think you were about to come out with your first Mario beatboxing video,
Right. Uh-huh.
and that was at the time when I started going into like lying all the time, and it was like, and I kept going with that, and then I noticed that when I get into this time of thinking that, oh, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to be feeling this or doing that, I would always go to your videos and watch them.
Hmm.
And because like I said, it's just got me out of times. I mean, video games has done the same thing, but music has
Right.
always been number one. I mean, like the funny thing is, I didn't even get into music. I mean, like I like listening to music and stuff, but I never got into it that much until I started watching you, and then I think you started talking about music theory a little bit more, and that's when I started falling in love with music because of what you've done and like what Frank and Zach and all of them did. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, my whole getting into music and stuff was like to play music, to listen to music, to look at music in a different ways because of you, and getting me out of those hard times to the point that if I didn't like if I was having a hard day at school or having a hard day at home or something, I would always I would use like a coping mechanism or like a mechanism. I would play a video game or I would listen to you, and that's
Right.
how I dealt with life. And
Because those are all like distractions and
yes,
escapes,
hmm
right? From like, because it's the same thing for me. Like, and even still today, if I'm like not feeling well, feeling down about myself, you're just being really hard on yourself, you just go watch a video and you just kind of like get lost for a bit, or like same with video games, it's all an escape, and that's always good, it's like, it's always good to escape and just relax for a bit.
yeah,
So I'm glad that my videos have been able to do that for you. I always thought that piano and beatboxing was such a weird kind of mixture, and like no one was really doing it. I never thought I would be able to build a community out of it,
yeah,
but the fact that I have and have people that enjoy it, it's really humbling. And so but there's people like you that just go out of their way to support. And so, looking at the numbers again, so we have over $5,000 in donations within like the past 4 months, and about 230 subs
hmm
gifted, that's about, I mean, out of your pocket, that's about $1,000, like
yeah,
in Twitch. So it's a lot of money. And I kind of, something I always think is just like, I know you enjoy my content, but I feel like with you sometimes it's just like, I'm like, I don't know why it's me, like because there's so many great content creators, and I feel so lucky that like you feel that I'm like one of the most important to you. And like I've always wondered why,
why?
you know,
That's
which may be a kind of like open-ended question,
it
but
is,
I'm
yeah. No, it's a good question. It's just the reason why I choose you is because you're since I started watching you, you are humble. You're just a caring person, and you do care about people who watch it. You do care. You're a different content creator than everybody else because I've watched multiple people, and my cousin is a big Twitch YouTube watcher, and I've watched YouTube and stuff on all this stuff, and it's like people who I got attached to would always get really big, and then just not care about fans or not care about this or not care about this anymore, or they would just take a break and never come back. But you've been doing it since 2013, so you've been doing it for 5 years, even probably longer than that, because you said you had videos that you don't have on YouTube, or they're on YouTube but they're private.
they're
But
private, huh?
you, usually everybody who I've watched have heard is usually by the second and third year when they are big, they just don't care. Like it seems like they're just doing it out of just muscle memory kind of thing. But you're doing
Right,
it. You're
yeah.
still interacting with your Twitch and YouTube people. You do Twitter all the time. You do Instagram all the time. You try to interact with you. You do polls. You you interact. I think the thing that I really like is you interact with people. You try to get everybody's input, and you do because it shows that you do care about people, because you know that you wouldn't be where you're at without everybody.
Right, exactly.
And that's like even sometimes when people joke around on Twitch and stuff about like, oh, somebody, like when I'm not donating that much but everybody else is donating, like, oh, somebody's gonna pass Italy, and it's like, go ahead. It means that
Right.
he's getting money. I'm not making this a competition kind of thing.
Right.
I don't care kind of thing. It's one of those ones that's like, if you're still getting money for what you deserve, because you said you even did this for multiple, when you were doing this, you were pulling out of your own money. Like, you were pulling it out of your own pocket of buying equipment and all that stuff until you
Right.
got Patreon. And yeah, it's just the reason why I choose you is because you're very humble, you're caring, you care what you do, but you also love the people that you work with. I could kind of, if you can kind of say that, because you kind of do. We work for you, you work for us. I don't know how you can put that, but
Sure.
yeah,
Sure.
but it's more like you also are doing something you love and you're going with it. You're not giving up on it. You just keep going. You don't give up, even when Chester Bennington, like, at that moment when you make that video, my heart dropped, because I thought, because that was a low time for you. Because the opposite thing happened to me was, because when you did that, I knew of Linkin Park, but at that time I didn't really like 90s 2000 music, and you're one of the people that actually opened me up to listening to 90s 2000 music. Because of that, you opened my eyes to that. And like because at that moment when you made that video, I thought you were gonna stop for a little bit, and I am shocked that you just kept going, because it shows that you do care. And it's like, you know what, because you're kind of like me, you like to turn a negative, like something negative like that, or something sad or sorrow, and flip it to a positive. And that's the reason why, I know that's a very long description, but that is the reason why I chose you. And then also, yeah, you're a good piano player, you're a good composer, like the very generic stuff. I wanted to give you like
Right.
actual, that's why I was going back and forth, because I was pulling it out of my, just from the heart, and just figuring out everything that I was saying.
Well, thank you so
No,
much.
you're
That
welcome.
was, yeah, that was a very real and genuine answer. And yeah, it wasn't like, your typical compliments that like YouTubers usually get. So like, that was definitely from the heart. So thank you so much. Kind of at a loss of words, because we've done interviews before, but nothing to where we really got this deep. So just thank you for everything you said. And I completely agree with you. It is difficult to do, but like, trying to take a negative situation in your life and make it positive is like one of the best things you can do. Because like, with Chester passing away, it just made me realize that like, if it wasn't for him, maybe I could have started playing piano, like, and been inspired in a different way, but like, I started in 2010 because of him, and like, it's like, there's where I am today, it's like just been this like chain of events, so like, if anything went wrong during this chain of events, especially something as important as me literally starting to play piano, it's like I may not be here in this position, so to me it was like, since people tell me that like, oh, I inspired them to get a piano, which is literally like my favorite thing that I hear, from my audience.
Yep.
That makes me want to like keep going, Yeah. And so you got a piano, and so you got that somewhat recently, right?
Yeah.
Only a few.
June. I think I actually got it on the week of my birthday.
Yeah, which is just, that's like the coolest thing to me, because like, I know exactly what that feels like. So that was a situation that was negative, but it just kind of like I just used that to inspire me to try to do the same thing he did to other musicians. Well, thank you so much for taking the time that you did today, and thank you for telling us your story. And of course, just thank you so much for everything you've given. The amount you've given, it has a very huge impact on me. So I just want you to know that. So thank you so much for coming on today.
And thanks for having me and just letting me talk, and making your creations and just doing everything.
Of course, it's my passion, so I'm more than happy to do it.